Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we're continuing on with our menu decoration theme here. Today we're going to create these pill-shaped buttons for our menu icons. When you roll over them, they change color. And the active or current page, when we select it, will highlight in the darker blue also. And it's really easy to do. We're going to be writing a bit of custom CSS today, but don't let that put you off. Any CSS I write, I'll put down below this video. You're welcome to copy it, change it, and use it as you wish. So let's get started. Let's undo what I've got going on here. And when I refresh, this should go back to normal. There we go, there's our default menu there. I'm using Google Chrome for this today with the great inspector tools. Most browsers have inspectors nowadays, but if you want to use Google Chrome, it's a free download. So let's inspect one of our links. And that'll bring up the inspector. To do this today, if I hover over the top menu, you'll see that it stretches from the links to the bottom of the header there. I want to make mine a custom height to make this work so that our buttons will all be a similar height. So I'm going to highlight that and just write a little bit of code here. And we're going to write, I'll give it a height of 30 pixels. And because we're overriding default styles, I'll need to give it the important class to force it to overwrite there. And if I hover over now, you can see it's a sort of fixed height, which is great. But I want to get rid of that line that's on the bottom, so I need to throw that down by about 24 pixels from memory. So I'll say margin bottom. We'll say 24 pixels. As you can see, that little line's disappeared there. And we may need to adjust this in a little while, we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this, the top menu. It's an ID. If I double click, highlight it, Control C, we can write it into our CSS box, which is Dashboard, Divi, Theme Options. We're on the General tab. Right down at the bottom is a custom CSS box. It's also available in the Theme Customizer at the bottom and in Appearance and Customize. They'll both be the same place. But we've copied an ID. All IDs have to have a hashtag in front of them. Then paste in the ID name. Then we'll open and close some curly brackets and paste in that code that we just wrote. If I didn't do this when we refresh this page, it would return to as it was. Control C to copy. And we'll paste that in there. Just tidy him up a little bit. And save the changes. Okay, well let's go on down to actually our decorations now. And so again, I'm going to inspect the link, it doesn't matter which one. And we're working on menu item. It's a class, menu item. These are all extra classes. I just need that first one, menu item, and the anchor tag within it. So I'm going to give it some padding all round. We'll say padding, colon, 10 pix. And I've got to overwrite some style, so I've got to use important again. Semicolon. Now if I highlight that now, you should see it's, as you can see, the green around it is the padding of 10 pixels. Great, so we've got the kind of rough shape for our button. Now I want to give it a background color. So I'm going to use my dark blue logo color there. In fact, let's not. Let's use the light blue this time, and we'll use the dark blue for the hover effect. I've got a color picker in my Chrome browser here. It's just a free color picker. And let's go on to that light blue. Copy that hex code, and we'll give it a background. So we'll say background, colon. It's a hexadecimal, so I need a hashtag and then the number and then a semicolon. And as you can see, it's put that color around it right there. But we also notice it's pushed our menu down a bit, so we'll have to adjust that in a little while. Now the text within it, I want that to be white, I think. So again, we'll say color and FFF for white. But we're overriding the default styles there, so again, we've got to use important. There we go, that's great. And I also want to give it rounded corners, so I'm going to give it a border radius of 50 pixels. There we go, fantastic. Now we need to make this permanent. So again, it was menu item, that class right there. Let's copy that. Or you can just type it in if you want to. And we're affecting the anchor tag. So it's a class name. All class names need to have a period or a dot in front of them. Then the class name. And we want to affect the anchor tag within that class. So it's A, open and close some curly brackets. Now we can go in and we can copy the code that we wrote for the actual anchor tag itself. Paste it in here. Save the changes to make it permanent. Now when I refresh the page, that should stay the same. There we go. So it's got all of them. Fantastic, just what we wanted. But let's adjust our menu because it's pushed it down further than I want there. So we'll go back to where it was, top menu. We wrote that code in here. And let's give it margin on the top. And I'll give it a negative value to push it up, or pull it up I should say. So I'll say margin dash top colon. I'll give it say -10 and see how that works out. That's actually not too bad. I've got to give it more of a margin on the bottom because we can see that line again. So let's bring that up. I'm highlighting it and rolling it with my mouse wheel until it's the size that we want it. There we go. And I think 10 may be even too much. So let's go back and double click on the 10. We'll go down. Let's say 7. I think that looks about right. Obviously you adjust yours how you will. So we can just replace the CSS we wrote with this new one right here. Control C to copy. And we'll paste this up here. There we go, we've replaced what we had between the curly brackets there and save our changes. Great. Now let's create the hover effect. I want it to be the dark blue color of my logo when I hover over it. So let's copy this. I'm copying from the dot of the class name all the way to the curly bracket included there. Going down a couple, pasting it in. Now after the A for the anchor tag, I'm going to put a colon with no space and then the word hover, no space again. So there's no spaces between the A, the colon and the hover. Now I just need to do the things that I want to change, which is really only the color. Everything else is going to stay exactly the same. So it's only that color. So let's get the correct color. I want to use the dark color of my logo. So I'll get my little color picker again. Now let's copy that hex code. And replace the number that we've got in there. There we go. Save our changes and see if this is going to work for us. Let's refresh. And let's hover over. Fantastic. So as you can see, it's changing to our new color there. And like with the other one, it looks like the opacity is not fully on there. So it's slightly a washed out version of it. So let's make sure the opacity is full. So on the hover, I'll say opacity 1, which is fully visible, and I'm going to make it important again because we're overriding default styles with this. And we'll save that. And we've only got one more thing to do. Let's refresh this and see if those colors are a bit more pronounced there. That's better. It's a full dark blue there. Just exactly what we wanted. Okay, the only other thing we want to do is on the page that we're on, we want to be that to be highlighted in that darker blue. So we're on the audio page at the moment. Let's inspect the audio link. And here it is. And here are the classes, and the only one we want is the current menu item really. So if I double click on there, we'll select current menu item, which is one of the classes within this, and we want to affect the link within it. So if we go back to our CSS custom box here, it's a class, so it has a period, then the class name, and we want to affect that anchor tag that it's attached to. Now let's close some curly brackets, and I am going to copy this color right here. Should be the only thing I need to copy, so everything else should remain the same. Should be that dark blue color. Let's save our changes and we should be good to go. Let's refresh the page. I'll get rid of that inspector. There we go. As you can see, our audio page is now highlighted with a darker blue. Our hover effects are all working fine. Let's switch pages. Let's go to our home page. And as you can see, the home page is now highlighted in that blue color. And our hover colors working perfectly there. So there you go, guys. That's how to create some pill shake links for your menus in Divi or in any other WordPress theme. It'll be pretty much the same system. So I hope you've enjoyed that today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.